Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all good.
Hello, Professor.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Okay, last time we just finished about the replacement cash flow projections. We had enough examples, and those who have some questions, as I told you, please do not hesitate. Get in touch with me, ask the question, get appointment. We can solve all together again. There is no problem with that. And today we're gonna start a new things which is related to the risk analysis. Before doing that, I want to solve one more question, which is related to the cash flow projection or expansion on the expansion projects. So I will solve one question from the book, so that we can have better idea of the expansion projects more. So it is related to the cumulative cash flow projection. So the example is given in here. Just a second. Here's an example. The actual page is 89. Actual page is 89. Is it this? Oh, no, it's not that one. It was 79. I'm very sorry. It was here. Here, I'm sorry. It was the actual page is 79. And the question is this one. The capital budgeting with a spreadsheet with a cumulative cash flow projections, okay? We're gonna solve it. It's already solved in the book. However, I want to show you all the numbers, how they are derived using for example, you don't have any questions related to sales, variable costs, and how they are put in Excel. But the question that you can have is this numbers that you may face it, okay? How do they put it here, okay? So there are some techniques that are used, and the other thing that how can we just estimate the terminal and non-operating cash flow, estimation of the terminal and non-operating cash flow, and then the cash flow for estimation of the NPV the last year, and estimation this number. So this thing that I'm going to show you how to estimate, and if you have any questions, I can answer. If not, we will move to the risk analysis subject. But the rest, we done so many times, there is no need to do it, okay? We know how to estimate the depreciation, we know how to derive EBIT, and when we added back the depreciation, we get the after-tax cash flow, and this is estimation of terminal non-operating cash flow. Okay, and the last thing what you do here, especially this part, how you estimate 416, even though the net working capital investment is 200, and how do you estimate this ones, and so on, and how these cash flows are estimated as well. Each I'm going to show you one by one, so that you don't have any questions while solving it. So I do basically recommend you right after the class go over the sample questions that we solve in the class, and at the end of each chapter there are questions that can be solved. There are multiple choice questions. They based on the CFA questions, and the solutions are available on Moodle as well. So if you don't have any questions, you can just solve it. If you have any questions, you don't know how to solve it, the solutions are available here. Still, if you have any question with the solution and you don't know how they got the answers, you are welcome to ask this question in the class, and or apart from the class, I'll be pleased to help you. Okay, coming to here, we'll start with this fixed capital investment. So the fixed capital investment is 2 million. Okay, the project life is 6 years. And the tricky part is this. The initial investment in net working capital is 200,000. At the end of each year, the net working capital must be increased so that cumulative investment in net working capital is 1/6 of the next year's projected sales. So 1/6 of the next year's sales. Okay, the cumulative one. This is how we're going to estimate now. 1/6 of cumulative investment of the next 1/6 of the sales of the next year. Which recording you mean, Alina? Which recording you couldn't find?
I couldn't find the recordings of the last classes.
Last classes I have not uploaded yet. Once I finish, let's say I have 2 sections. Once I finish 2 sections, I select the proper video which I recorded and I upload it to the Moodle. So today I'm going to finish this lecture and I will upload it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So now we're moving here. Okay. The questions are here. So 200,000 at the end of each net working capital must be increased so that the cumulative investment in net working capital is 1/6 of the next year's projected sales. So 1/6, it means 1/6. Okay, it's 0.16 of the next cash flow. This 50 is estimated in the following way. 1/6 multiplied next year's sales. Next year's sales. However, so that the cumulative net working capital should be taken into consideration. Look, this is so that it will increase. It will be increased so that the cumulative investment net working capital will be 1/6 of it. Okay, and what you need to do is just subtraction of the previous year's net working capital. And I do the same thing for here. This multiplied next year's, if this is second year, the third year sales, minus 50 minus 200. I do the same thing here. This multiplied the fourth year, minus this, minus this, minus this. And apply the same thing here. And subtract all. And this is where we get it, okay? And there's nothing in the 6 here. So this is how we estimate cumulative net working capital. But the sales are estimated in the following way. It says directly here that sales are 1,200,000 in year 1. So 1,200,000, okay? They grow at 25% annual for the next 2 years, and they grow at 10% annual rate for the last 3 years, okay? So they say that sales will grow for these 2 years by 25% yearly. And for the last 3 years, they will grow by 10%. This is how I derived, this is how I get my sales. So 1,200,000 multiplied by 1.25, I got this one. Then 1.5 multiplied by 1.25, I got this one. Then whatever I get this one, I multiply by 1.10 to get this, and it goes like this. I will show you. So how did I get it? So 1,200,000 multiplied by this. 1,500,000 multiplied by 125, and the last 3 years it will grow by 10%, by 1.10. Do you have any questions up to this moment?
No.
Okay. Fixed cash expense and variable cash expense. are estimated. So fixed cash expense, sorry, the variable fix is the fixed. It doesn't change. It gives you directly the numbers. And variable cash expense, it tells you in percentage, like 40% of the sales in year one, 39%, and you just apply these numbers. Just straightforward. The marginal tax rate is 30%. Okay, how we estimate the marginal tax rate, and we derive the operational after the tax. The depreciation, we get it as well with the numbers which are given here. The estimated in accordance with the modified accelerated cost recovery system. So we apply that one as well to derive it, and then we add the depreciation. So once we come to this position, operational income after the tax, now we need to estimate the operating cash flows for the estimation of the NPV. When you estimate this number, you should take into consideration the cumulative net working, because this is the cost that you incur while you're doing your business every year. So in the first year, there's a cost of 50 million in net working capital. So it should be subtracted from operational income after the tax. So you just subtract it. From this one, you subtract this. And for all years until you reach the last year. In the last year, there is no cost, but it is here you add the terminal non-operating cash flow. And terminal non-operating cash flow is the following: salvage value 150, it's given in the book, minus the tax amount, and plus net working capital. And we have here net working capital this, and we get just cumulative number. Okay, we get the total value. We just sum it. Okay, this sum is the net working capital, and this is minus tax of the salvage value. And this way we calculate the total cash flow after the tax. Any questions?
Okay. Sorry, where did you get the salvage value?
Salvage value is given in the question itself here. It says that Lowtown will sell its fixed capital investment for 115,000 when the project terminates. Okay, here.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And we estimate the NPV and IRR. These values are available on Moodle. Okay, here. Cash flow with projection of the weighted cumulative net working capital with video. Today I'm going to upload the video here as well. Risk analysis and sensitivity scenario analysis. But today I'm going to go briefly about the risk analysis and sensitivity analysis, just how to estimate and what does it mean. But with example and some cases, we will work on Thursday. So we're going to go like with examples on Thursday. Okay. Now let's come to the chapter itself. So risk analysis is basically divided into three parts: sensitivity analysis and scenario analysis, and simulation analysis. Sensitivity analysis, it includes the examination of the impact on NPV if you change only one variable. What do I mean by changing only one variable? Okay, we are given here several variables: unit sales, price, variable cost, fixed capital investment, depreciation, net working capital, salvage value, tax, and the cost of capital. So these are the variables that are given. If you change any of it, not all of them, just one variable, okay? Change just one, only this, let's say. How your NPV will be affected? What will be the impact on your NPV if you change only one variable? This is called a sensitivity analysis, okay? This is called a sensitivity analysis. When it comes to the scenario analysis, it involves the examination of the impact on the NPV if you change all the variables, like, but changing with the different scenarios. We're creating one scenario, let's say, recession, like everything is bad. You create the worst case, like you overestimate the cost, you underestimate the profits, you try to show the worst scenario as possible in order to see what will happen to your NPV in this case. Normal, you do what you do, just generally what is given to you, and boom, you create the best case and best scenarios that you could ever achieve, like economic boom, like everything is perfect, there is no any extraordinary thing that cannot be controlled, all the risks are taken into control, and you can just make really good profit. You can just grab the money from the market easily. This we call the scenario analysis. And when it comes to the simulation analysis, okay, when you come, so let me just illustrate here. This is sensitivity analysis. We change the variable one by one, and try to see what is the NPV, how the NPV changes. If you change each variable, okay, if you change unit price, this will be NPV. If you change the annual sales, this will be NPV. If you change the variable cost, this will be NPV. And the last variable, if you change the required return, but you do it one by one, not everything at the same time, but change only one variable. This is we call sensitivity analysis. The idea is that we need to find out which variable is more sensitive to changes in NPV. Why do you think that we need to know why the variable is sensitive? Why which variable the NPV is more sensitive? Why there is a need for it? Is there any idea?
In order to assume risks
One by one.
associated with in order to assume risks associated with each cash flow or cost, whatever.
Yes, and that's why you need to do it, Evgenia. You said you need to know in which with association. So you need to, you are trying to predict in what way it will go, your variable. So to take it under the control. Is there anything you want to add, guys? Like, why do you need to have NPV to see to which variable it's more sensitive? For example, if you, yes, Yerlan?
Yeah, I think that if I will be a project manager of one project, so I will make sensitive analysis to make sure that I will definitely prevent like uncertain circumstances in the future, and I will get throughout this sensitivity analysis, I will get the weight of each say variables and how they affect on my project. And if there is like the highest weight, for example, on sales, I will make sure that my managers will work properly and like everything will be cool.
Okay, in here, Yerlan, once you just told us things, it's good. We have estimated and we can see the sensitivity of the variables, and we can see that the higher changes NPV comes out from the unit price and annual sales, annual unit sales. So if I tell you as a board of director, you're the manager of the project, please, I want to increase my NPV. What should be done? What could you suggest it?
Well, I think that I would say that we should increase unit price a little bit, and we'll get our base NPV is 121, for example, and we'll get like in high case $170,000 of NPV.
Okay, great. So you have an answer for the question that may come from the board of directors, like if they want to increase the value of the NPV. So you can easily just get answer, and you can easily reach your goals and aims. So this is the reason to find out why to which variable the NPV is most sensitive. So in here we understood that unit price is. So let's go one by one how it works. So this is the normal NPV, okay? In normal case, we don't change anything, okay? This is the why we are using we do not consider lower and the higher boundary, but the base boundaries are here. So this is the variable names and its futures are given. According to this, we construct the cash flow projection, and our NPV is here. So in the base case, they're all same. However, if we just reduce the price, if we reduce the price, unit price, from 5 to 4.5, the reduction is not that much. It's less than 20% actually. So that would actually create a really good and bad NPV as well. So let's see how it works. If I change the sales and I'm selling it, let's say for $5, what if I sell it for $4.5? I change only the price. Let's see what happens. Look at my NPV. It declined. It declined by 50,000. Okay, it's almost by 50,000. It declined by 50,000 or 50 million. We can say it declined by 50 million. So it's a huge number. So, but the price changed a bit. I reduced. But what if I did increase the price itself? I do not change all the variables. I change only the price, guys. I'm changing only the price. What happens to NPV? It goes up by 50. And we can see the range is 98,000. It's a very huge number. It's the most sensitive variable. So the NPV is the most sensitive to unit price actually here. Then I could repeat it. I could repeat it for annual sales. What if the price, everything is same with depreciation, but the annual sales reduced? My sales was 40,000, now becomes 35,000. Okay. My sales become 35. Okay. And of course, when I estimate the variable cost, I should affect it as well. The variable cost is affected as well, because when I calculate the variable cost is variable cost per unit multiplied by the annual sales. That will give you the variable cost, variable expense. And you can see what happens to NPV. So NPV becomes 77,000. So it reduced almost by 50,000. So changing the unit sales. What if I change the unit sales, not 35, but making higher number? Okay, making higher number. And changing the variable cost, making the higher number. Let's see what happens. Your NPV increased as well. NPV increased 164. It was 77 when the sales reduced. Now it becomes higher when the number of the unit sales increased. And the range is 86. It's lowered by 10,000, but still is highly sensitive. So the NPV is highly sensitive to changes in annual sales. So we do this repeat for each variable, changing the variable per cost per unit, like making from 1.5 to 1.4 to 1.6, then expected salvage value, tax rate, and required rate of return. So we change it one by one. Okay, other things are kept constant, ceteris and paribus, and we construct this table, sensitivity table, in order to see which variable is the most sensitive and which variable is the least sensitive. So who could tell me what is the least, if this yellow dashed variable is most sensitive, but which is the least sensitive variable?
Required rate of return.
Be careful. It's 58, almost 58,000.
Oh,
Do not
so
look to the negative.
Expected salvage value.
Expected salvage value. If as a board of director and you're the manager, if I ask you and I tell you, look, Evgenia, please work on the expected salvage value in order to increase NPV, what would your answer be to me?
If we'll work on it, the change in NPV would be insufficient.
Yes, so what would you suggest then?
Then it will be better to pay attention on annual unit sales, for example, or
Why?
because they have higher impact on our NPV.
Okay, very good. So there is a convinced answer to the board of directors. Thank you so much. So this is how estimated. We're gonna go through this example on Thursday. Like I will solve it one by one, but for this I just give you the brief information, how it looks like. So when you go home, you will digest all the information and you come to the class ready and we'll solve it and everything will be just, all the questions will be answered in your mind. Okay, this is the sensitivity analysis. But when it comes to the scenario analysis, I said we create different scenarios, different cash flow projection cases. We have base case, which is normal, worst case, and best case, the boom. Okay, this is recession, this is boom. Okay, we created, we just exit. So in the base case, in the normal case, we do not do anything, and this is our MPV. Okay, we just work out like this. This is our MPV. Cash flow projection is done, as we know. Sales is estimated by unit price, by annual unit sales. Variable cost is estimated by variable cost per unit times by annual unit sales. Depreciation in straight line is 50,000 every year. And earnings before tax, as you know, and so on. So we estimate the MPV is positive. Good, we accept the project. However, what if we find ourselves in a worse scenario, that everything goes bad? We underestimate the profit, we overestimate the cost. So what we do here, basically, in the worst case, our sales should be underestimated, which means we will sell less number of the units with the lowest price. And we will sell the same number of the units, but with the highest cost. Okay. So we overestimated cost and underestimated the profits in the worst scenario. And what you can see, our MPV is negative. So according to the worst case, we cannot accept the project, because in any way we could be in this position, as you can see, with the negative MPV. So we desire that all three scenarios be positively MPV. So let's see what happens in the best scenario. In the best scenario, we overestimate the profit and underestimate the cost. Our sales are overestimated with the highest. We are selling with the highest price. We are selling with the highest number of the units. So we get the highest sales. And we are selling the same number of the units, but with the lowest cost. And what we can see here, our MPV is positive. So actually, ideally in here, you take the decision not to accept the project, because the worst scenario gives you a negative MPV. And of course, you can try out sensitivity analysis to support this scenario analysis and to come up with a certain conclusion. Yes, this project is accepted, or yes, project cannot be accepted due to the sensitivity analysis. And we can perform, which is Monte Carlo analysis. Okay, we have here 3 different MPVs. And in here we have maybe 12 different MPVs, but still does not give you really, in here you're just trying to see the sensitivity of each variable to MPV, and in here you're trying to see different scenarios. But your conclusion could be based on the last risk analysis that can be performed, which is Monte Carlo analysis. And honestly speaking, the Monte Carlo analysis is performed only in the case, actually there's courses given only on Monte Carlo analysis. Okay, in this course we will just go briefly on it. However, if you want to know in a really detailed of the Monte Carlo analysis, there is a course that is dedicated just for Monte Carlo analysis, not in this university, but there are many courses like outside of the university. You can just access it and take it as an online and get it in the Queen University, which is certified. It's a good investment certificate, You will be a kind of investment appraisal consultant, okay? How to model the business, different financial modeling with supporting with risk analysis, specifically with the risk Monte Carlo analysis, simulation analysis. In the simulation analysis, what we do basically is creating stories of, let's say, 10,000 MPVs. Okay, we create different, these are the MPVs. Okay, we simulate different 10,000 MPVs. This is the idea of the simulation. You're simulating and you're trying to see what could be the range, how the MPV would change with the change in the numbers. So what happens in here, if you can see that if I just press enter, all the numbers change. Can you see it? It changes. And it doesn't come back to this previous number. So all the numbers changing in here in a randomly distributed manner. So the numbers are selected by randomly here. So I'll teach you how to do it as well. And that will help you to simulate the MPV for 10,000 times, for 1 million, and get some statistical data to interpret this Monte Carlo analysis. But it's very simple, straightforward, but at least it gives you some idea about the Monte Carlo analysis. But if you want to study it in a very detailed, you can have an access, as I told you, in the Queen's University. It is, when I was doing my master, I took these courses in Canada, like investment appraisal and risk analysis as well. And you can get the certificate as well, and you can go to Canada and study there for summer for 3 months, like if this pandemic is over. It's a good opportunity as well. Okay. This is Monte Carlo analysis. So let us review everything what we did so far. Sensitivity analysis, we change only one variable and try to see how the MPV is sensitive to each variable. Okay. So how the MPV, you downgrade by 20% each variable, you upgrade each variable by 20% and see how the MPV changes. And from here we can select, say that the project MPV and IRR are the most sensitive to changes in price, because when the price dropped by 20%, the MPV goes from positive to negative. And when the project is also sensitive to changes in unit sales as well, if you drop by 20%, the sales will generate negative MPV as well. So there's a huge change. And the project appears to be least sensitive to changes in estimated salvage value. Actually, the slide example is totally different from the book example or the example that are illustrated in the Excel file. So they're totally different. But more or less, the idea is the same. I mean, the conclusion of it, like most sensitive variables are the price and sales, and the least sensitive are expected salvage values. Scenario analysis, you create different scenarios, worst, base, and best, and you see the MPV. In the worst case, the MPV is negative, the base case is normal, and the best case, in all cases, the MPV was positive, then you would just say, I select this project, it should be run. And we perform the simulation analysis, which is Monte Carlo simulation, in probability distribution of the project MPV outcomes rather than just limited number of the outcomes as a sensitivity and scenario does. So we just arrange the projection of the cash flow in a way it randomly select the numbers. So we do not project it, okay? It will randomly select any numbers, the computer. So you give a function in Excel, it just randomly select the numbers. So I'll teach you, I will show it to you how it's performed. So you can easily have an access and see how it works. And this is all I want to talk about the risk analysis, but one more thing that we are left actually not much than this, and I have to think about the quiz. On Thursday, I'm going to tell you which day we're going to have the quiz and which day we're going to have the exam one. And as I promised, the head of division of financial advisory, the Mr. Talgat, he's going to present, he's going to give some lectures on real cases from the investment banking. And we are agreed that the exam 2 will be given to you as a project. This project will be asked from this investment banking. So as a case, you will do it in a group and submit with presentation. So all the details I will give you. On this Thursday, I'm going to meet with Mr. Talgat and discuss everything. And next week, I'm going to share all the results of our meeting. And I'm planning to give you the exam and the quiz just before the study break. And the study break starts in the second week of the March. And we'll have to do everything. So before the March. So we will do the exam quiz before the March. Exam 1. And exam 2 will be after the study break, but as an assignment, as in a project to you. Okay, while you're here, let me just take attendance quickly. Let me take the attendance. Lutfia is here.
I'm here.
Okay. Aynur,
I'm here.
Inkar,
Here.
Aygul, Nuray,
I'm here.
Madina,
I'm here.
Dilnaz,
I'm here.
Tamerlan, Muhammad,
I'm here.
Aida,
I'm here. Sorry,
Hi.
Professor. Aygul Bisikesh is here.
okay. Aynur,
I'm here.
Leila,
I'm here.
Yerlan, he was here, I think.
Yeah, present.
Aygul, Mahmutova, Evgenia, she was here. Madina,
I'm here.
Adina,
I'm here.
Chingiz,
Here.
Dalida,
I'm here.
Danyar,
Here.
Alina,
I'm here.
Tursunbay,
Here. I'm here.
Adiler,
Here.
Abdul Alim, Nauren,
I'm here.
Abdul Alim is here.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Dauren,
Here.
here. Begzat,
Here.
Adilet,
Here.
Ajar,
I'm here.
okay. Ramila,
I'm here.
Amirjan, Adilbek,
Here.
Dil Muhammad,
Here.
Mihriyay,
I'm here.
okay. Okay, do you have any questions you want to ask? Please feel free to ask. Anything you want to discuss? Do you want me to go over again about the cumulative net working capital? How the numbers are calculated? Do you understand well how do I estimate this 1/6?
Yep.
Okay.